I think being able to put words together to form a proper sentence is a lot more important than being able to write those Chinese characters or words out individually. And I'll give you an activity that'll help you get good at that at the end of this video. There's a standard approach for learning Chinese characters, which I'll share, but then there's my way, which I believe is a lot more practical. Practical means it actually helps you learn to communicate with Mandarin, which is the point, right? The standard approach is to learn from chapter to chapter and write the characters over and over. The characters, of course, being the ones that are introduced in sequence throughout the chapter and repeated through the chapter in vocabulary exercises, grammar exercises, fill in the blank kind of stuff. You know the drill. The popular reasoning is that you learn to write the characters and so you learn the Chinese words. And it makes sense. But I say learn the words, yes, but put your focus on recognizing Chinese characters and not necessarily writing them. And also I want to add, I do recommend that you should spend time learning the proper stroke order for characters. That way, essentially no matter what character you see, you will know how to write it correctly, or mostly correctly. And 100% correctly only matters inside of the classroom on a test, friend. It doesn't actually matter in real life. As long as you can write a character 90% correctly, as in the correct stroke order, I say you're good to go. Because again, this is about recognizing one, not writing one. So Santiago's question, which is right there again, is similar to another question that a guy had who I coach inside of my DIY Chinese challenge, which is basically my system to help you self-study effectively so that you can see clear progress consistently and you don't ever have to rely on a class or tutor again to see progress. So Connor started out learning the characters and lots of different characters, and then he would piece those into words, building block style. But of course, he has an issue that I was coaching him through, which is since he doesn't know as many words as he'd like, putting the characters together into words and then together into sentences, building block style, is actually pretty difficult for anyone. And he's having that challenge. So I'll tell you what I told him. I would much rather that you learn the words and phrases you need and then use other tools to supplement that learning. Those tools being flashcards and extra material to solidify what you learned, and even character writing, but only as a means to an end. The end being getting familiar with those words and phrases and how to communicate with them. The point is not to write characters. The writing is just an extra tool to solidify the characters, the phrases, the words into your memory. So remember that activity I promised you at the beginning of the video? Well, here it is, and it will help you more intuitively understand how Chinese phrases should be put together. And by the way, it's one of the many activities that I have inside of that DIY Chinese challenge. If you're curious or you want to apply to it, links in the description below. So the activity goes like this. Step 1, pick an exercise from your book. Step 2, copy or photocopy the sentences. Like, I recommend just one per line. Step 3 is cut out the phrases word by word. Step 4 is scramble up the sentence. Okay, the longer the sentence, the harder. The shorter the sentence, the easier. Do it word by word. And then step 5 is put the sentence back together. Tap or click the screen down here for an oldie but goodie, 7 ways to study Chinese characters, and tap or click the screen over here for me comparing my 2 favorite Chinese books for learning Mandarin.